Good evening and welcome to May's Power BI User Group. You're through to Alex Taylor. And tonight's session, we've got two exciting talks from Francisco Gutierrez and Emil Glaunia. We'll be talking about exporting data automatically using R and Python Power BI and financial freedom in Power BI using Dashboard. Just go through the slides. First, we've got an intro from Alex, myself at RW, followed by Francisco Gutierrez kicking off at 5:40, and then after 40 minutes, we've got Emil Glaunia, and we'll be hoping to wrap up about 7 o'clock. And remember, with tonight's talk, remember to add your questions to the right-hand text box. So any questions you have, and myself, Sheb, and Ben, who are with the background tonight, will be helping answer questions. Otherwise, Francisco and Emil will answer them at the end of their talk. So Francisco's talk will be about exporting data automatically using R and Python in Power BI. So he'll talk through that talk, and then after that we've got Emil talking about his financial freedom Power BI dashboard. So he's looking to get himself financially free over 18 months. So that'd be interesting to hear from him. But a bit about the Power BI User Group. If it's the first attendance to the Power BI User Group, we've been going for almost 4.5 years now. So we started up in January 2017. We've got over 2,000 members, and we do sessions every month. We'll be hoping to do face-to-face sessions in Manchester later this year once we've got venues and COVID restrictions allow them. So that'll be good. Any questions you have, we'll be free to answer them, and we're a friendly community, and we like to share slides, and all the sessions we've had, webinars since last March, are uploaded to Ben's YouTube channel, and I'll be happy to send you through the details of that. Again, a bit about myself. I'm a data analytics recruiter with over 16 years experience of hosting events and speaking to candidates. So if you are looking for a new role, or if your team's looking to recruit, or just looking for salary information or rate card information, don't hesitate to get in touch with myself. Cool. And that's a few reviews from our sessions. Without further ado, I will hand you over to our first speaker, Francisco. Good evening, Francisco.
Hello to everyone.
How you doing? You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
Where are you tonight?
Say again, sorry?
Where are you this evening?
I'm Manchester. I'm from Spain, but yeah, I live in Manchester.
Fantastic, yeah. Fantastic. And you've been to the User Group before, have you?
Yeah. A few times, yeah.
You spoke at one of our lunch and learn sessions last year, didn't you, with Sheb and Ben?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I'll leave the floor to yourself. So good luck, and I'll catch you later.
Thank you. Can you guys see now my screen?
Yep, you're fully live. We can see a lovely green and red and yellow, beautiful PowerPoint. And we can see your beautiful face as well.
Okay. Thank you to everyone for attending. Today I'm going to talk about how to export data automatically using R and Python in Power BI. My name is Francisco Gutierrez, and I'm a Power BI developer. This is my website, powerbistyle.com, but unfortunately it's only in Spanish. That's my LinkedIn, and if you scan this QR code, basically you can connect with me, and I'm happy to answer any question or help you with any problem that you have related with Power BI. So the content that I'm going to talk today is about how Power BI connects with R and Python. That, to be honest, is something that it is very easy. I'm going to talk as well about the data gateway, and after that, I'll talk about two demos. So I'm going to do 2 different demonstrations. The first one is going to be about exporting the data that we have in Power Query. And secondly, I'll do a workaround to export the data from a table that we have in a report, and that table is with DAX measures. So Python and R connect with Power BI very easy. So as soon as you install Python in your machine, it links automatically with Power BI. And if you want to change that, basically you have to go to options. And when you're in options, you just click in here in Python scripting, And here you have the location of basically your environment, and you can have more than one environment, and that at the end could create you problems because, for example, maybe your code could be working in Python, but when you use it in Power BI, it doesn't work. It could be because of the environment. For example, in one environment, you have different packages installed, and in the other environment, you are missing some of the packages that you are using. And that could be one of the problems. Also, you can have, for example, problems with data types. In the solution that I'm going to demonstrate later on, for example, if you have a currency or data type in your Power Query, you're going to have problems when you export that to CSV. Basically, it's going to give you an error for that column. So the way to sort that out, it will be changing the currency to decimal number and the date to date time. So another thing to talk before I go to the demonstration, it is about the data gateway. So the thing is, if you want to refresh automatically your report, the only way, if you are using Python or R, is with the personal data gateway. There isn't another solution. So you have to install the personal data gateway in a machine that obviously has to be on, so 24/7, and also you have to install Python and R in that machine. And well, after I said that, I'll go to the demonstration, the first part. So I'm here now in Power BI, a very simple report. So we have this data that is coming from a website. The website, it basically is random data from a website. The website is giving the actual price of the olive oil for today. And it's changing the price on a daily basis, but it's only changing the data for today. So one of my friends asked me how cool he had a history for that. And that's what I'm going to demonstrate today, how to keep a daily record of your data. So if I go to Power Query to transfer the data, here you can see that this is coming from this website, and I do a few transformations, and I have here my data. So look, the thing that I'm going to do is to make a copy of my data using R. But first, what I usually do is to test my code in RStudio, because in RStudio I can see if it works or it doesn't. So if I go to RStudio, the solution is very simple, and I'm going to show you just a few examples, but the code is something very simple. So basically the code that I'm using is this. I'll make this bigger, sorry. And I hope that you can see. So basically using this function write table. Well, something that is important to tell, if I go to Power Query, sorry. If I go here to transform, when I run R script, basically here is telling me that if I want to call my data, what I really need to use is dataset. So to help with that, I'm gonna use dataset here as well in my code in R. And first thing that I'm going to do is, okay, I'll run dataset just equal to 3 to see what all this code is going to do. So I'll run this, and here you can see what is running. If I run that, so you see dataset equal to 3. And now if I run this bit here, so this is actually creating a file here. So I'm gonna try to put this here in this side. I'll make this smaller. So now if I run this, it's creating a file there. So this file is created in the location that I'm telling. Sorry, I'll make this a bit bigger now. In the location that I'm telling, with this will be the name of the file plus, well, here I'm doing a transformation, but I'm adding the system datetime dot CSV. You see that you have underscores there, so that's because I put in that separator. And also I'm saying, okay, show me the column names, show me the column names, but don't show me the column rows. And this for quotes false is just to say that I don't want to put, for example, the number 3 between quotation marks. Otherwise, it will put it between quotation marks. And this is the separator. So I'm going just to open the file just to show you that it's writing 3 there. And now that actually they will give, well, it doesn't give a problem, but it's just how it writes the data. If I'm running this without the row.names, so I cutted that, and I'll run now again the script. You're gonna create another file there. So it's opening. So you start to see what's the problem that is happening if I don't put the row names false. Basically, for every single row, it will give me an ID. For example, it will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus the column name is going to the left. So it's a problem that it is easier to sort it out if I put the row names equals false here. That I'll put it back. So if another thing, if we want to, instead of the date time, if we want to use the date, we only need to use the system date. I'll run this too. So here I have the date, and here I have the date time. For the date time, I have to do a transformation because the column doesn't like it when you write a file. So I have to change those columns to dots. Basically, that's why I have this bit of code there. Just this here. Well, so now that I can see that this is working, so it's very easy. So I only have to copy this piece of code, and if I go to my Power Query, I paste the code there, I press in OK, and now it should run the code. So every time I press in refresh, it should create a new Excel file. Yeah, I think this is the latest. So I have my data now automatically. So every time refreshing the report is creating a new Excel file. I'm going to delete this. One important thing that I didn't say, if I go here to options, usually by default, you're going to have the privacy levels like this, combine data according to your privacy levels. So you have that option selected. It's gonna give you an error. It's because of the privacy levels. So what you have to do is to ignore the privacy levels as I had it. So you go to options, and I put it as I had it before. Ignore the privacy levels. Otherwise, it's not going to work your script. So now every time I refresh, it will create a new Excel file, CSV basically. So with this, you could store on a daily basis your data, and basically if you want to put all the files together, that's very easy, and I'm pretty sure that you know that, but I'll do it quickly. I connect to folder. And I'll connect to this folder. Basically, when I'm creating the snapshots, combine and transform data. Okay. And I will have my data there. So you could do any transformation that you want to this data. So just to prove that this work, what I'm gonna do, I'm going to publish this, and I'm going to show you in the service as well. So it's, well, obviously it gave an error because now I don't have any more that data. That data now is in a snapshots. The computer is going a bit slow now. So basically just to show quick the data. So basically the data is there. You can see that it's there. Because the other query that I had before is this one here, and this one, basically it doesn't have anything because with the R script, we're not returning any data. We are only writing a CSV. So I'm going to save as like this one, publish. I want to replace it. And I'll publish to the service. Demo, replace. So now I'll go to the service. If I press in demo, is this one, olive oil price publish. If I go to schedule refresh, if I go to the gateway connection, well, let's check. This is already published. Yeah, it's published. If I go to the gateway connection, I can see that, well, automatically it's linking there to the personal gateway because I already have it. But you can see it's no way I can click in the standard gateway. And even if I wanted to add the R connection, it's something that I cannot add it with this gateway. Only you can use the personal gateway, basically. So now, just to show you that this works, if I press, well, make this smaller. Sorry. If I press here to refresh, it should write another file there. It's refreshing now. Yeah, it wrote another file. So this is working because I have the personal data gateway in another server, plus I have R in that server. Otherwise, it wouldn't work when you refresh. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to close this solution. I'm gonna pass to the second part of the presentation. So basically, if I go to this report here, it's just a very simple report from the Contoso database. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the same, but I'm going to export this table, and this table is with DAX measure. Basically, yeah, all the columns here are DAX measures, basically. So that's creating a problem because in Power Query we don't have those measures. So I have to do a workaround to be able to basically in Excel. I'm going to do a connection to my model. So I connect to my model, I recreate this table. And when I have that table recreated, what I'm going to do with Python, I'm going to refresh the Excel automatically. And after that the Excel is refreshed, I'll make a copy of the Excel file. So I'll open the second file. I'll go to second part. and I'll open basically this Power BI file is this report here. And it is opening. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to replicate this table. So I'm going to open an Excel file. I could do this just using analyzing in Excel from the Power BI service, but I'll do it from scratch in Excel. So if I press in data and I get data from Power BI, so I need to find the data set that is called Contoso ranking. So it's loading all the data sets from my tenant. I'll find Contoso. I know it is this one. It's loading the model. It's taking a while. Yeah, now. So I'm going to recreate that table there. So I'll put this to one side just to see what I have there, and I'll recreate it. So I have the continent name. I'll put the continent name. I have a few sums. So I have quantity, sales amount, and total cost. And I have as well a few percentages of these calculations. So quantity, sales, and cost. I'll put them in order. Well, it doesn't matter, to be fair, for this demonstration. And now what I'm going to do is just save this file. I'll save this file in this location, and I'm going to call it model connection. Save. So now I have an Excel file that is connected to my model, the model of the report, and I'm replicating that table. So I close this and I go now to my Power BI report. I go to transform data. I have here the solution, but I'm going to delete it. First thing I have to do is I'm going to refresh the Excel file, and I'm going to do it using Python, because the code I'm going to use is only about refreshing the Excel file. I can't use basically this. If I go here, I can't use this connector. It wouldn't work because it doesn't return any data. So because of that, it doesn't work. So I have to do something very easy. That I create some data here. I enter data, and I put, for example, here A. And this is going to be for the refresh of model connection. And now I have some data here. I'm able to use these two. In this case, I'm going to use run Python script. But before going to that Python script, I'm going to show you the script that we are going to use. It's very, very simple. So I say the location. Here I say the location of the file, the name of the file. I say, okay, open Excel. And this bit here is only to basically, if it is visible equal 1, when I run this script, we will be able to see here the Excel open and close. If I don't have this, we wouldn't be able to see anything. It will work, but we wouldn't be able to see anything. And here basically what it says is, okay, open the file that I'm telling here. So I'm passing the source path name and the file name. And after that I open the file, I refresh my model. Basically, it's like going in Excel in data and refresh all. I save it and I close Excel. So just to show you, if I comment this out and I run this piece of code, it should open Excel. Let's see. Yeah, it is opening Excel. Okay. This is gonna give me a problem. Probably it isn't the same name. Okay, I saved it in another place. Well, I'm gonna copy. So if I run it now, yeah, now it is opening. Yeah, okay. I'll close it. If I open that location, and I'll show it here. If I run the full script, you should see that that date there should change to, well, the time, basically. The time should change to the time of now. If I run everything, so it's opening, it's refreshing my data, and it's closing my Excel file automatically. The date, you can see the date is the date of now. So this is working. So now that I know that it is working, I copy the script. I go run Python script and I paste it here. So this is going to run now again. Sometimes it runs, the first time it runs a couple of times. I don't know how many times it is going to run. Yeah, second time now. Third time. But at some point should stop. Well, this is not happening when it's refresh. I don't know why it is happening only at the first time. Also, if, for example, maybe you want to delete this data, and if I go to the advanced editor, so I only have to delete this, and here at the end, I will delete this as well. I'm not gonna do it now because it's gonna happen again, the same that happened before. It's gonna run like 2 or 3 times, and also usually it gives me an error, and I have to like run it a few times. But after it's running like a few times, it works as normal. I don't know why that's happening in Power BI. It's something that it doesn't happen with the normal Python. If I run it, for example, in Visual Studio. So now that I have that there, that is refreshing my model. So I'm going to do the query that we've done before with R, just to make a copy of my Excel file. So I connect to my Excel file. It's basically, yeah, it's this one. And I know it's this data. I press OK. I bring the data. So I check the data types. The data types are right. I know that with these data types, it doesn't give any error. And now I go to transform and run the R script. I'll copy the R script that I have it here somewhere in my other screen. Basically, it's nearly the same code as before, but just changing the path and the name of the file. I press OK. Again, I'm not having any error now because the options are with ignoring privacy levels. Otherwise, I will have an error and I have to ignore it. So this is going to be write CSV, and I'll check that this is writing. I don't know why this is blocked now. Yeah, because it's just running. Sorry. You have to wait for this. It doesn't let me to move this. I'll try to open another one. So here we have the snapshots that we are creating. So every time I run this, it creates a snapshot as before. But the problem that we have now is when all of these solutions refresh, for example, in the Power BI service, or even now, we don't know the order that they are going to refresh because I have multiple queries here. So basically, I would like that all these queries run first, and after that my model refreshes, I would like that the connection in the Excel file refresh. Sorry, every time that I change is running. And after that it refreshes the connection, I would like to make the copy of the Excel file. So with in Power Query, we can't give an order to the queries, but what I can do is if I create functions, I can invoke functions with a delay. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to convert these two to functions. That's something very easy as well. I'll have to go here in the advanced editor and I create to a function. I'll do the same with the other one. I'll change the name. I'll put before. I'll put fx just because they are functions. And now, if I create a new query, blank query, and here I'm going to use the function invoke. So invoke after. Function invoke after. It's telling here function as a function and delay as a duration. So I have to pass as a first argument a function and as a second argument a duration. And that duration is going to be a delay to invoke the function. So I'll pass the refresh model connection. So this bit here is this function here, and I'll pass the duration that so want to delay. So because in a demonstration I'll put only 5 seconds, but in the real life I know because this is contour, so I think I'm loading. I don't know if it is 12 millions of data. It will take a while. So in that case, maybe you will need maybe, I don't know, 5 minutes to delay. It depends on your queries. So it's something that you have to control. You could put like, for example, I don't know, 120 seconds. You can put 1000 seconds. That's up to you. But in this case, I'm going to put only 5 seconds there. So basically, with this function here is going to run after 5 seconds. So now it's running and it's refreshing my model. And I'm going to change the name as well. I don't know why today it's running this a few times. Okay. refresh model. I'm having problems because I'm writing in the file. Yeah, sorry, I'm having problems, I think, because I'm writing inside of the file. Also, I can't close that. I don't know why. I'll do the same, but now for the second function that is writing the CSV. CSV. Right, CSV. And show invoke after fx, right, CSV, and the same as before. Duration. This guy I'm going to do it after 10 seconds. So this is writing the file. We'll write after 10 seconds of your refresh. So with this way, you can first run all these queries here. And if you give enough time, your connection in Excel will refresh automatically. And after, it will make a copy with a CSV file. So with this, I finish with my presentation, but before finishing, I would like to share with you a book of a friend of mine that I'm looking forward to have. So this book is about machine learning Power BI with R and Python, and is being written by Pablo Moreno, Gabriel Gomez, and here you can see the index. I'll share with you guys this if you would like to have a look, and the book is going to be published probably at the end of the year. I don't know if there is any question there that I can answer now, or I'll answer them via the chat. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you, Francisco. Alex, are you there? Why have I come on the screen? We did have a few questions. Do you want to have a look in the Q&A? There was something that went back to the beginning from Pascal about using this with a personal gateway. And they're a bit in depth, so maybe if you can just have a look at that and publish them and answer those in the chat, that might work. Francisco, what do you think?
Okay, yeah, I'll have a look and I'll answer to them. Thank you very much, Ben. Yeah.
Brilliant. So thank you very much for that. Very interesting. I'm sure we'll all try and pick the book up once that's published. And you haven't written that in Spanish, though, have you?
Sorry, what did you say?
That's not written in Spanish, is it?
Well, it's in both languages. It's first published in Spanish, and after it's going to be published in English. In English, it's going to be at the end of the year. Okay,
brilliant. All right, thanks for that. Shep, do you have any questions for Francisco?
No, I liked his presentation. I like the way you can sort of export that sort of data, and I'm with this Pascal person who's messaged as well. And I was hoping that you'd have a workaround for the gateway issue. So it's obviously, if a customer asks for this, it's difficult to sort of create an enterprise version of this, which is, I guess, the challenge that I was having around it. So yeah, I don't know if you know any other ways, Francisco, that we can get around something like that.
Well, the only way is with a personal data gateway.
Yeah.
It's not possible with the standard one. So basically, you need a server.